Welcome to Coach's Corner Show, everybody. I'm your host, Coach Tripp. This is the Goode and Faithful Servant episode with my friend and teammate, Kerry Goode, who has Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS, and he chimes in with his wisdom every week, every Monday night. And tonight, Kerry's going to tackle three subjects: what it means to be first, starting over, and courage. So stay tuned for those three. This episode is brought to you by the Seiler Agency and Ronnie's Car Wash. Here on Coach's Corner, we try to inspire and educate the mind to think, the heart to feel, and the body to act. All right, so let's get into it. Day 23 of Kerry's book, A Goode and Faithful Servant, which we deep dive in every Monday night. And Kerry gives his bit of wisdom on three subjects. This first one is titled, What It Means to Be First. Kerry, when I saw the number 23 followed by what it means to be first, I thought of my Alabama days as a freshman. I was a slow, fat, dumb, weird, wild Yankee walk-on, the first in my family to play college football, the first from my high school to play at Alabama. A couple paragraphs into the chapter, you say, quote, being the first is not about being legendary, but about becoming a legacy and setting an example for your family, friends, and others in the world. Being first is part of God's mission for you here on earth, but it can be very lonely. In fact, it can be suffocating to always feel like a stranger, a foreigner, especially when others don't share your vision. Even worse than that, they don't want you to succeed because you're infringing on their perceived territory, unquote. Wow. Kerry, that's exactly how I felt in 1980, a stranger from New York who talks funny. However, Kerry, you talk beyond stereotypes, whether it's race, religion, north-south bias. Be the first no matter what you look like or where you come from, you say, unquote. Kerry's my first question for you. I don't think I've been the first at anything in my life, but I do know that the next player at Bama after I proudly wore number 23 was a guy named Todd Richardson from Liverpool, New York. That's right, Kerry. I'm as far from legendary as you can get, but when Todd told me a couple of years ago that I was the inspiration for him going to Bama, I was taken aback. Kerry, are we sometimes blind to the impact of others that we have on others?
It's quite common for us to be unaware of the full impact that we have on others. We often go about our daily lives without fully recognizing how our actions and words affect those around us. This can be due to a lack of mindfulness or simply not paying attention to the subtle cues and responses from others. What might seem insignificant to us could have a significant impact on someone else. It's easy to overlook how our actions are perceived by others. That's why the old saying rings true. You never know who's watching you.
That's right. You never know. All right. Thanks, Kerry. That was day 23. Day 24, this is tackle the second subject, starting over one day at a time. Starting over. Wow. Again, Kerry, this chapter hit home with me. When I got off that plane in Birmingham in August of 1980, I thought I'd landed 8 miles from the sun. I didn't know one person. I never stepped foot in the state of Alabama, let alone seen the campus. And I was voted the best athlete in my high school of 4,000 students. However, no scholarship was offered to me. I was at a low point in my life. I did not realize the wisdom of Lao Tzu, quote, new beginnings are often disguised as painful endings, end quote. You say in this chapter, quote, have you ever just wanted to start your life over? Just move away to a place where nobody knows you and you can begin a new life and start over. Making a fresh start isn't so easy. We have a hard time making a clean break from people, places, and things that aren't good for us. Being forced to start over is even more scary. It takes courage. Just look at the life of Ruth. Ruth, chapter 1, verse 1 through 22, as a young woman, her life seemed to hold a really bright future. But in a few short months, her family was devastated by death. Ruth chose to start over in a new place, and she knew no one. She survived being broke, hungry, homeless, to become the great-grandmother of a king, King David. Kerry, blessings in disguise are so hard to see. Why do the disguises look so real at the time?
Often, we have specific expectations for how blessings should appear. When life doesn't align with these expectations, we might not recognize the good in a situation, even if it's ultimately good for you. Blessings in disguise often come wrapped in challenges or hardships. During tough times, it's natural to focus on the struggle rather than the potential positive outcomes. It can be hard to see the silver lining when you're in the middle of a storm. Sometimes it takes time and a change in perspective to understand how a difficult situation was actually a blessing. With hindsight, we can often see how certain events led to personal growth or unexpected opportunities. Human nature often leads us to focus more on the negative aspects of our experiences. This negativity bias makes it harder to notice the good that might come from a difficult situation. Recognizing blessings in disguise often requires trust and faith, believing that there is a greater plan or purpose behind our struggles. Without this trust, it can be challenging to see the potential positives.
Wow, that's right on the nose, Kerry. Unbelievable wisdom, man. Have faith; it's going to turn around. God did not want bad for you, but good. All right, let's go, man. Let's tackle the third one, which is an interesting subject to me. All three of these. This is one of my favorite shows. Again, Kerry. Let's talk about day 26 in your book, and you call that chapter "Courage is Calling." That's right. On page 29, you say, quote, "One day you're going to get the call for courage." Kerry, you paraphrase actually Winston Churchill, who said, "There will come a special moment in your life when you're tapped on the shoulder or you're pulled by the coattail and offered the chance to do something special, something unique that fits your talents. But what a tragedy it will be if that moment finds you unprepared or unqualified for what could have been your finest hour," unquote. Wow, Kerry. You go on to say, "Moments like that ask you to take a risk, challenge the status quo, to run toward danger while others run away, or to do a thing that other people will tell you is impossible. Will you answer that tap or that tug, or will you be too afraid to step up and speak up? Most people are too afraid of what it will cost them. That's why they don't. That's why they're enamored. That's why all of us are enamored with people who show courage. Nelson Mandela actually defined courage like this. Quote, "Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave is not he who does not feel fear, but he who conquers that fear." Okay, Kerry. How can we follow Nelson Mandela's definition of courage?
To show courage in the face of fear involves first admitting your fears, and then focus on positive outcome. Accept that setbacks are part of the process, learn from them, and keep moving forward. Resilience builds confidence and courage, but you should always concentrate on what you can control and let go of what you can't. I always remind myself that trying and failing is better than not trying at all. With failing, you gained experience. One of the blessings of being terminally ill is knowing that if you do nothing, you might not get a second chance.
Wow, Kerry, we should all live like we're dying because we all are. Wow, that's great stuff. Man, if you liked it, thanks, Kerry, for doing that, buddy. Love you. If you like this podcast, like it and share it. Send it on your page. This is the Goode and Faithful Servant, episode 7 with Kerry Goode. Have a great sports night, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Stay tuned for these great messages. Without these great sponsors, this just wouldn't be possible, everybody. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.
Are you riding around in a filthy vehicle? Dirty car no more. Visit Ronnie's Car Wash today to get it shining in no time. They have 3 convenient locations with another coming soon. The unlimited monthly wash packages start as low as $14.95 per month with free vacuums, multi-purpose spray, and towels. Visit them in Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, and soon Crestview. Don't wait, wash today. Be sure to see Ronnie's Car Wash on Facebook to see the latest specials and discounts. You'll be riding and shining in no time. For 30 years, you have seen the orange Beck signs all over the Gulf Coast listing a property for sale or lease. Beck Partners is your trusted advisor in commercial real estate, property management, commercial and personal insurance. Senior Vice President David Valletto has been with Beck Partners since 1989. Take advantage of his wealth of knowledge by calling him today at 982-7352. 982-7352. Extensive experience in all aspects of leasing, sales, management, and site selection will make sure your expectations are exceeded.
Barnes Heating and Air is a proud sponsor of Alabama football, serving the entire Pensacola community for over 50 years. Barnes Heating and Air is passionate about providing customers with world-class air conditioning and heating repairs, sales, and installation. Barnes Heating and Air is family-owned, insured, and committed to quality. For a free estimate, call 478-0141. Barnes Heating and Air is #1 in customer service with service calls 7 days a week. Call Barnes Heating and Air, 478-0141, and roll.
Arbitrium Consulting for all your fencing, landscaping, pressure washing, tree trimming needs. Call 850-483-0350 for your free estimates. Serving Pensacola, Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, Destin, Perdido, Gulf Shores, Foley, and the entire Gulf Coast. Arbitrium Consulting is owner-operated, fully licensed and insured. Call today, 850-483-0350, the official landscaper of Coach's Corner.
Did you know there's a place where you can get good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates on your home and auto insurance? Yep, and that place is, ta-da, State Farm. Here's the deal. State Farm agent Will Rentschler is your go-to agent in Pensacola, Florida for the service you deserve at the price that you want. So stop shopping around. State Farm agent Will Rentschler has you covered. Call 850-433-4678 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Legal disclaimer, individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
My name is Steve Reynolds. I'm the manager and owner of Cordova Lanes, and we help keep your mind out of the gutter. Cordova Lanes is part of the community of Pensacola. Being here for 43 years, we've entertained more people than any other bowling center in the city. We self-fund for a living. Cordova Lanes is located at 2111 Airport Boulevard in Pensacola, behind Cordova Mall. Come on out and see us at Cordova Lanes Bowling Center. Thank you.